Mental skills don't always go to plan. Coach Cam fam, we're back to talk about when things don't necessarily go to plan, or when you learn a new skill, you have to apply, adapt, and then make the adjustments so that they're best for you. We're back at my old high school to work with the varsity basketball team again. I work with all different sports, and that's one of the best things I love about being a mental skills coach. Now, I taught them some different skills, and we are making some adjustments now based off of what has happened in the preseason to set them up for their regular season and everything going forward. Obviously, you can see my breath. It's cold out here, so we're gonna head inside. I've been talking to Coach Dunn about kind of how the tournament went, what's kind of going on into New Year, what's the objectives, kind of what we're feeling. It's actually a really good point, because just like your guys' physical skills, you learn them. Maybe it's whether it's like a personal skill, right? You're learning a move on your own, or whether it's a team thing where we're learning a new play, whatever. You have to go apply and then figure out where it doesn't go right, yeah? And then from there you can make the adjustments or whatever else it might be. For mental skills, it's literally the exact same process. That's the cool part about this. You guys are already geared to like work in this way and develop this way and advance and get better, basically. So when I was talking to him, he told me some challenges that we had in the tournament, but I want to hear it from you guys first, so I can see where there might be some correlations, things are lining up, or we're actually totally on different paths, because that happens too. Sometimes the athletes might be feeling away, and then a coach, I can relate to this one, might be thinking something, but the athletes don't feel that way at all. So talk to me about what's been going on lately. I mean, I'm opening up the floor. So things that went well, challenges that came up with it, going from there. Anybody want to start off? Anybody think about this? Yeah, go for it.
We played every team close.
I think we got off to a slow start in the third quarters, throughout the whole third, and then we kind of made ourselves go down a little bit, made ourselves have to do a comeback effort in the fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I guess being consistent almost, because we're fine first quarter and kind of second quarter, and then we just come out so flat. So starting the game with energy and then maintaining that's the hardest.
All the way throughout.
Yeah.
I guess what's the most difficult part about maintaining? If let's say we're down 5 at half, coming out, locker room, third quarter, we're down 5. Are those not things that we should be reminding ourselves of to maintain?
I think especially us. Because with the teams we've been playing, I'm not a moral victory guy by any means, but we need to be we're down 5, we're not down 20. You can embrace that a little more. A 5-point comeback is 2 possessions.
Correct. Yeah. Okay, let's up the ante. 10.
We're still fun. That's why we got shooters in here.
Yeah.
3 threes in the layup for fun.
Okay. Does everybody else feel like this too, or not?
No.
Yeah. I feel like we can't get no matter if it's 5 or 10 points, we can't get flustered. We gotta play the same way.
Okay.
No matter what, we just gotta do what I do. That same, what Joey said, level of consistency that can't fluctuate based on point differential where we're at. Whether even if we're up by 5 or 10, we still gotta play the same way.
Sure. I like looking at the bad case scenarios first, before being able to say, okay, well, here's what we're looking like when we're good. So then, 15 to 20. Down 15 to 20.
We just got to take it one possession at a time. We can't get too focused on that number. We just got to focus on winning every possession.
Has anybody worked kind of what we were talking about from last? It was a lot of info last time, to be honest. It was I just kind of dumped it on you. I didn't know when the next time I was going to see you was. So I went overload as far as I want to give you more to kind of think through, work through, as opposed to less, and then just be okay, well, I don't have anything to think about. So last time we talked, we built off of our first session, right? Reinstilling what things are important to you as far as core values, and then built that into what things are going to help you build or basically hype up or cool down throughout the whole game. And that was through activation levels, which was that personal number, team number. And then also we had the 3 different types of support system bases, right? Can anybody kind of reframe or get those sports psych juices flowing again? What did we talk about last time a little bit more specifically?
Yeah. Humility, appreciation, servanthood, unity, accountability, and passion.
You are not reminding yourself of those things. Okay, that might be the team thing. You might be like, okay, well, I don't line up with all of those personally. You have to do your job, I have to do my job, he has to do his job, like that's how it works, correct? Yeah? So then those other pieces have to take place for yourself in order for the unit to then develop over the course of the game. Meaning in my possession, right, or our possession right now, we're going up the court. Doesn't matter if it's here, 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 or here. I'm trying to win the whole game with that one possession or those two possessions, okay? As soon as you start blending these things together, it sounds like so far out there. You're like, obviously we're not going to win. But if you start holding yourself with the pressure of, I need to make this possession and put the pressure on this possession, that everything has to happen this possession, whether it's quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, doesn't matter. The game will ride on certain possessions. But if I'm trying to win the whole game in one possession, it's just gonna be like this. Boom. Energy's gonna go downhill. The reason why I divided it up is it goes into 2 parts now. One possession is obviously one possession. You guys got to start focusing on the one possession. As soon as I start trying to obviously I know there's a flow to the game, right? There might be like a back and forth of 6, 7, 8 things going on at the same time, but that's that moment. As soon as you start trying to I'm trying to do this, that, all this extra stuff, that's when the pace starts going away from you guys, your play style, and you might notice that you might start playing like the other team will, or the simple mistakes start happening. You start missing the simple things. You might let your guard down for 1 second, someone gets something off of you, it doesn't make sense, like you would never have that happen to you. But in those moments where there's lapses, where I'm not just focused on this one possession, that's where that starts taking place. The next thing, okay, we're gonna do this thing together, and that's where we're gonna practice this today. Based off of last time, I talked about cue words, or cue things, or cue breathing to help hone you back in right now. What ends up happening is you guys have all this time for a warm-up before to get yourselves to the 60, 70. Yeah? Now what ends up happening is there's no reset. There's nothing that happens here. So then you end up going down regardless. Maybe it's 5, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 20, whatever. And then now you have a long break from quarter 2 to quarter 3. Yeah? And nothing's happening. You don't really have that same warm-up. You might not have those same nerves. You have something like your emotions are starting to build off of what the game's going about. So then, yeah, obviously, you're not going to come out the same way here that you did here. You guys follow what I'm saying? So then now, and then the same thing, obviously, going into here. You need resets between each thing. So it should be warm up, reset, warm up, reset. That's how 4-quarter athletes are working off of, right? Whenever you have a long duration break, whether it's the pre or right in the middle, you need to have something that's gonna get you right back to that 65 to 70 or whatever else the number is for you guys. Does that kind of make sense? Are you following me, or did you lose me on this? Okay, if you start carrying one quarter into the next quarter, into the next quarter, into the next quarter, that's where you start trying to win the game with one possession. Time you're put in a stressful situation. I don't care if it's talking to a girl for the first time, you have to make 2 free throws to win the game, or you wanna make sure you look good for the homecoming, yeah? Stress changes your behavior. You're not the same. You're not the same. Who's ever said something that you're just like, where the fuck did that come from, right? Maybe in a game time situation, maybe you interaction with coach. That's why athletes are so snappy, man. Yeah? Like I might say something to an athlete, and if I say it just this much wrong, they come back at me, right? So the stress and then not knowing where you fit within the stress, more often than not, is why that happens, guys. Individual or team sport, guys? What do you play? It's made up of a bunch of individuals, yeah? Real talk, right? But if the individual interlock is not there for the corny, for the good, for the ugly, for the arguments, for the great stuff, is it maintaining a team sport ideal? With the teams that I personally work with, karate is a super individual sport, bro. It's almost like screw the guy next to you. Like I'm here to do my thing, screw the guy next, but we're on a team. It doesn't really make any sense sometimes. I encourage that the athletes get so comfortable with each other that they get into arguments. I'm not encouraging fighting. I'm not saying, hey, you guys should hate each other, but I would hope that you guys are comfortable with each other enough to say, if I have something to say to you, I'm going to say it. I'm not going to hold it under my breath, and I hope you can give me a response. Not out of a hateful place at all. It should be completely the opposite. It should be we're holding each other accountable, and I get frustrated because I care about this shit just as much as you do, if not even more, and you're vice versa with me. Do you guys follow where I'm at with all of this, yeah? So I encourage you, you're going into practice right now. 2 things need to happen. 2 things need to happen. Your resets In between, maybe it's from one drill to the next drill, or maybe it's like doing 3v3. I just finished my 3v3. I'm getting ready for the next group. That's the time to reset. That's your 3 minutes. You guys follow what I'm saying? You ready for this? Water breaks. We're going to treat those as halftime from now on. We're going to treat those as halftime. When the whole team shuts down, right? Halftime is where the whole team shuts down. You got 10 minutes to go figure out your stuff to go into the next quarter. Yeah? As a group, please, as a group or individually, whatever it needs to be, treat that as your halftime. Use your resets. Reground yourself. The first step is this. Yeah? If you can get yourself present and not hold on to the last 2 quarters that happened, last part of practice that happened, and we get present for this part to say, hey, I need to get to my 65, 75 now, khalas, the rest will take care of itself. I guarantee. This is not like I'm not making a this is, I guarantee it. I see it all the time. I see it with athletes at all levels. I see it with everybody. If you could just be present and say, hey, I'm having this, just a sip of water. Even if you just literally say, sip of water, I put it down, 65, let's go, boom. Just that took 3 seconds, man, 3 seconds. If you could do that for yourselves, I guarantee that the interpersonal, yeah, and your personal parts that make up the whole team will like, it's gonna do 2 times better, 2 times better. Just the fact of you guys being present and say, hey, guys, 65, 75, coming out of half, it's almost like the restart, yeah? It's almost like the restart, the refresh the phone, yeah? I have 30 different text messages right now, ready to go, but I need to restart my phone. Boom, I do it. I restart the phone. Still got the 30 text messages, but I'm ready to answer them now. You guys follow what I'm saying? Right? Or we're up by 10. Now it's time to like, it refreshes. I'm back to my 65, 75. We're letting go to those first 2. Now we need to start building what we can. If we're dominating, we're going to go to annihilating.
Right, so find that consistency, and we know that to go play by play by play, I think is going to be really, really important, especially in big games against good teams. So we got to make sure that we're ready to do that stuff. It starts in practice, like Cam said, though, right? And we know that sometimes we got practices that we're really good. We got practices where we're up and down. We got practices where it's high and then it drops, right? Keep it consistent in practice as well, right?
Big ones. Yeah.
Good to see you. Appreciate you.
For sure. Big time.
Yes, sir.
Big time. What's up? My comfort zone. Appreciate you, brother. Take it easy. Good stuff. We'll see you guys. G. Big love, bro. Hey. See ya. Good stuff, bro. Coach. No, you're good. No worries. Thank you, bro. Good stuff. Hey, take it easy. Let me know if you guys need something, yeah? Okay. That is a wrap. We are done. Sports psych session with the team again. Now, between the last video and this one, I've been working with these guys a lot. So the way that they're approaching this is really great, and I'm very grateful to be a part of this. Now, today, as you guys can see on the whiteboard, or what was crossed off was applying the skills based on what their personal needs are, because a team is made up of a bunch of individuals, but then where those individual pieces fit within the actual team and the flow of a game. Now, it's a quarterly game, so that means between the first, second, third, fourth quarter, they need to be making mental adjustments so that they're still performing at their absolute best. Now, I want to thank this team a lot, because now they're the first official team that I'm sponsoring. I got on the shirts for their awesome tournament that's coming up, and I wish them the best of luck. Now, we're going to keep building. We're going to make the adjustments, and they're going to give me the notes that they have based off of what's happening. But they're heading into practice right now, which is one of the best things, because now I can say, do this, and they're going to go apply it right now. Coach Cam fam, you know what the agenda is. This logo stands for getting athletes better and making better people along the way. Till next time, make sure to like, subscribe, do everything you need to keep supporting the channel. Till next time.